Well, I would honestly say that The Last of Us Part 1 on PC was probably one of the most broken, incomplete games I think I have ever played in my life. For the record, random voice crack there. For the record, I actually did quite enjoy it as a game when it worked, but when it worked, wasn't as often as I would like it to be, let's say. Like, I could tell that if I was playing this on the hardware that it was designed for, that I would probably just really enjoy it and be like, hey, that was a really good game. Like, I could tell that there was like a great game under the surface there. But the PC version specifically, like, has got to be probably one of, if not the worst PC port I think I've ever seen in my life. Whenever I think of Last of Us Part 1 now, I'm going to think of the friggin' rainbow dimension that I was fighting zombies in, um, which are now memories that I look back on fondly. So, like, because I had fun with the brokenness, or when the characters like models would bug out and they would look like Lego figures and stuff, like all their detail went away. It was genuinely rather funny. So even though it was a very broken experience, I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's fixed nowadays. Last played May 8th, 2023, but this was ported by Iron Galaxy Studios. It looks like recent reviews and stuff like that are very positive, so I assume, yeah, all reviews, there's a little bit of sway there because this game had quite the disastrous launch on PC, but it looks like that's been fixed here. I'm not super familiar with Iron Galaxy Studios, but apparently, like from what people have told me, they're a bit infamous for really bad PC ports. So sometime later down the line, when like this past winter actually, during like winter sales and Boxing Day sales, when I was looking at like, oh, what kind of games can I pick up for my PS5? Now that that's something that I own, I had to play Part One on PC out of necessity because I didn't own a PlayStation. I haven't owned a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2, but I own a PS5 now. I could play them on PS5. So during like Boxing Day sale or winter sale, I forget which one I got when I actually got Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 because I was like, okay, if I ever want to replay this one day, I probably want it to actually run. And while I was picking stuff up on sale anyway, I saw that like, this wasn't a half bad price. And I figured like I don't know when did I pick this up on sale? I forget when I picked this up. I picked this up because I had already played part 1 on the channel. I was like, well, I don't know when slash if a PC version is coming. Like I'm sure it'll come eventually, but it was such a broken, unfinished experience with part 1 on PC that I may as well just pick up the PS5 version. So I own it on PS5. I could play it, I could get a completely stable experience, and I was like, yeah, I'll get around to it sometime after my game schedule is a little bit more open. And then, like, shortly after that, they announced part 2 on PC, and I was like, huh, well, I could save myself money, play, like, what is undoubtedly going to be, like, the better version, and just play it whenever I feel like playing it. Or I could potentially play something that's broken. So I decided I would wait until the game came out and I would see, like, let's see if it's broken or not. Like, let's just start looking at some gameplay, some reviews. Is this broken? And one of the things I did notice about this game compared to part 1 on PC is it's not just Iron Galaxy Studios that was working on the port here. It's Nixxes software, who I'm not familiar with. But from some of the videos that I was checking out, it sounded like Nixxes software came into play a little bit later in development to kind of help the PC port here go a little bit smoother. And from what I've been reading up on this, it sounds like it helped. It sounds like this is not as disastrous of a launch as part 1 on PC, which was like the worst thing ever. So I was looking into reviews and like some videos like Digital Foundries. It seems like major issues like the whole shader compiling at the beginning of the game are somewhat alleviated. It compiles like the necessary shaders and has you wait for like a minute as you're booting up the game. But then after that, it loads the shaders as you play, which is one of the things that I had asked about in the first game. Like, can't they just have these load as you play? Apparently, that's how part 2 works now. So apparently, that is actually the approach that they took. From the Digital Foundry video, it looks like depending on your settings, the game can randomly freeze for a couple of seconds just out of nowhere, like just pause and then unpause, and then you keep on going, like just dropping to 0 FPS. And it seems very odd, but this is not mixed reviews like part 1 had, I'm pretty sure, when it first came out. But I was curious. I was looking through these. A lot of people that really like, good old Good old Last of Us Part 2, though I know the game itself in general is pretty controversial. But out of curiosity, I was looking through the negative ones to see if are the negative ones because of performance, or are the negative ones just because of like people generally disliking Part 2? And it seems like yes, the game does not quite work properly. Um, but I was going through all the, well, not all the negative reviews, but a lot of the negative reviews, and they do seem to stem from the quality of the PC port, not complaints about like the story and all that. That a lot of people like with The Last of Us Part 2. It seems like either you love it or you hate it. It seems to stem with the performance and like how it works here. A lot of reviews say that there's like a lot of issues with mouse movement, so I think I'm gonna start playing with keyboard and mouse. Pro and controls are broken. Last of Us game that runs well on PC? No, never. Why would I expect that? If you want to play a AAA game for 10 minutes and relaunch it over and over again, be my guest, because that's what you'll get. Crashes upon crashes. Let's see here. I want to be able to come back by the end of the game and change his reviews to recommended. Adore the PS4 release, is a masterpiece, but the performance here has some insane issues. I'm on a 4070. That's better than my hardware. It's been pretty decent overall, not bad on high settings, but I'm getting moments where the game will freeze for 5 to 10 seconds, sometimes multiple times in a row. Wow. Major game-breaking issue for keyboard and mouse players. Mouse seems to work on a grid, which means you're unable to make micro adjustments for precise aiming. Isn't that like one of the whole points of playing with the mouse? This is a crucial element to gameplay. How on earth is this not common sense to implement proper controls on a release day? Unbelievable. Have you ever played a game? Really want to give a positive review, and I'm hoping it's fixed one day. But performance is horrible. Can't play the game on a 460 Ti. Yeah, it's on 4K low with this hardware, and it's 20 FPS, constant changing settings, and even on 1080p, it's still 30 to 40 FPS. So hopefully patches fix it, but it is running god awful day one for me. Wait until they patch this broken ass port. Yeah, it's having huge problems reading mouse input, so mouse input seems to be like a really big issue about this. This is one that I remember seeing earlier. Literally played for 6 hours with autosave on and even tried to save the game manually. I figured it wouldn't take me that far back since it's been autosaving this entire time. Got back on the game and it took me all the way back to the beginning of the game. Fuck this, wasted all that time for nothing. Getting a refund because that just pissed me off. Fix your saving progress. Can't even load the shaders. The game crashes because of RAM and VRAM. My PC supports the requirements. Yeah, there's definitely some resolution complaints. I was reading on, I'll mention the Digital Foundry stuff in a hot second here. Weird issue with mouse where your input isn't registered properly if it's small / micro adjustment. Reticle either doesn't move or it moves in a grid-like fashion. Makes aiming on mouse very difficult. Cannot recommend in this state. One of my favorite games of all time. All this stuff. That said, 3 crashes in less than 60 minutes with no information as to what's going on. My third attempt, I monitored my performance while playing and nothing seemed out of whack when all of a sudden, boom, crash again. Sad to do this because I really want to play this right now, but I'm going to refund. I'll purchase again and update this review when this crap is fixed. Don't buy unless you love staring at a 150 gigabyte game in your library that you can't play. So, I know that Last of Us Part 2 is just generally like a controversial game in terms of its story. People seem to either think the story is a masterpiece or it's like the biggest piece of crap that you've ever seen. So I was curious when I saw that there was still a decent chunk of negative reviews, but still mostly positive. So I was like, oh, well, I know that a lot of people really don't like Part 2. So is it just people from that group that are coming now that the PC version is out just to say, hey, Part 2 sucks? I don't know if you need to, I guess you need to actually play the game to leave a review. So I guess it makes sense that it would be people that are actually like playing it. And if you already have a negative opinion of Part 2, you probably wouldn't be picking it up here. Because yeah, basically, I don't see any complaints about the story. Like, I'm sure that there are some about the story. Crashes. So yeah, freaking whatever. I know. Whatever. I don't dig around with like the more in-depth review pages, I guess. I don't know how to navigate them. But basically all the negative reviews, at least like most of them, seem to be about the performance. It still doesn't seem to be great. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if, like, in later parts of the game that people just haven't had enough time to reach yet, there are some other, like, game-breaking issues. Like, the whole rainbow effect that I got in Part 1, which I only got towards the end of my playthrough. So there might still be, like, some hidden gems, some twiddlywinks in there of some truly brokenness. So, like I said, I figured, hey, at this point, I'll just wait for it to come out. If it seems like it's a good, fine PC port, like, why would I buy the same game twice? I'll save myself some money. I'll just play the version of the game that I already own. No point buying the game a second time. But if it seems like it's broken, I am getting on that, and I'm going to make this like a high priority playthrough for the next little while, assuming I have the time. Because I want to experience as much of the brokenness as I can before they fix it. When I was looking at the Digital Foundry video, one of the things that I thought was interesting, and I had to search a little bit to find this. I couldn't find it on the like actual official website for it, but I found it on this Reddit page here. The PC specs that are required for the game here. If you want to play on low settings, like that looks pretty fine, I think, in terms of like the expectations. It looks like they really want it to be on SSD, and like I put this on my SSD. I put this on my M.2 SSD because I want like I don't want to purposefully go to my way to make it seem like it's more crap than it is. I want to like be giving it an ideal environment here. So I put it on my C drive, which is my M.2 SSD that's like directly attached to my motherboard. So it should be loading it relatively fast here. For medium settings, this is the part that kind of surprised me. If you want medium settings, you got to be running at least like a 3060 for medium. And I was I thought that was a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, really? This is a PC port of a PlayStation 5 remaster of a PS4 game that's... When did Last of Us Part 2 come out? Last of Us Part 2 PS4 release date. How old is this game now? Okay, so it's about 5 years old. I honestly thought that it came out in like 2018 or something like that. I might be losing my mind here. But still, it's a PC port of a PS5 remaster of a PS4 game from half a decade ago. And if you want to run it at medium, you need at least a 3060. So I find that kind of intriguing. And looking at the Digital Foundry video, it seems like if you are running at medium settings with like your 3060 or whatever close thing you have here, it seems like the graphics are worse than the PlayStation 4 original. And it's like, really? When I was looking at their video, it seemed like one positive in terms of graphics is the shadows seem to have a lot higher quality in the PC version. And looking into it, it seems like there's some other perks of the PC version, is there's like exclusive content to the PC version. There's like some roguelike mode that you can play in like as a side mode or something like that. And there's like new characters and maps that are added for the PC version and like some other settings and stuff that you can toggle. So the PC version seems like it is going to be like the definitive version anyway, and the version that I have to do on my playthrough if I want to showcase all the content. I'm running a 3070 in my machine here. Hopefully I can be running it on high. I wouldn't even be able to stream it something like 4K anyway. But yeah, the thing that I found the most surprising was the recommended medium settings. So I haven't booted this up yet. I figured I would do so like right on stream here. And we'll see what this is like, I guess. I used mouse and keyboard. I used controller controls when I was playing part 1. Like, I very rarely will use mouse and keyboard controls. I've been doing it when I play, like, Helldivers with my family, because I do want precision aiming in, like, shooter games. And, like, I guess it could have helped when playing Last of Us, but I'd rather just kind of, like, sit back and relax with the controller. If my aim hurts a little bit, then it's whatever. But in this case, if people are complaining that, like, mouse controls don't work, I want to experience this for myself, so I'm gonna try and play this with mouse and keyboard for a little while. This is taking a little bit to launch. It is also worth noting, when I played part 1 on the channel a couple of years ago in 2023, I already was familiar with the story because I had watched season 1 of the HBO show. A lot of people here in Alberta watched season 1 of the HBO show because it was filmed here in Alberta, the middle of bumblefuck nowhere, where, like, nothing big like that gets filmed. The friggin' ruined city in, like, one of the episodes towards the beginning, I could point out the building that I used to work in for an IT company many years ago that they were trucking around with all the Zambos and stuff around there and all the abandoned vehicles. Like, I recognize the area. So I was familiar with the story because of that, but I never played the game. So I was going into it blind gameplay-wise, but I was already familiar with the story. This is taking a long time to launch. This is taking way longer than, like, any other Steam game I think I've launched before. In terms of part 2, because I had your GPU NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 is compatible with the game, but for the best experience, we strongly recommend using newer drivers, at least 572.83. Is that a driver version? Hello, false souls. Uh-oh. The game may have visual problems or stability issues on your current driver version 560.94. Please download the latest drivers from your GPU manufacturer's website. Yeah, just out-of-date drivers. When I saw this was not like, I thought I was reading that as like is not compatible. I thought you were gonna tell me that like a 3070 wasn't good enough. There's a launcher like this? What? What is this? A freaking older Bethesda game? Like, I would assume that I would change this in game. Like, unless you're having like crashing issues and you need to like tinker around with settings here to get the game to boot up properly or something like that. I just feel like I don't see this for a lot of games. I see this if I'm booting up like Final Fantasy VII. If I boot up something like Fallout New Vegas, there's little menus like that. I don't think I've ever seen a menu like that for a modern game. The first port was way worse. I was just talking about this a second ago. Why didn't Twitch notify me that you're live? Well, I haven't started the actual game yet, so you're in the clear there. Here, for a little bit of a recap, let me show you what the last port was like. From what I've seen online, this version isn't as bad. Last of Us on my channel. But for a little bit of a last time on Dragon Ball Z, this might honestly be like one of my favorite playthroughs I've ever done in terms of like broken funny. Specifically with the launcher. I don't think so, but I don't want to like re-download the game to find out. You want to see how broken part 1 is, though?
Lights warning.
I don't know if we're going to experience this again,
eyes.
but this is what we experienced when playing Last of Us Part 1 in PC. It was beautiful. It made the final level really, really hard, because it was already really hard here. And I was dealing with parts of the map being the green dimension over here. Or yeah, where's the rave room? Is this where I run through the rave room? This is where I run through the green room. Like, there's the rave room. There it is. This is what happened. And like, my hardware, it's not terrible. Like, I'm not running like top of the line hardware, but I think I'm running pretty good hardware. So, I honestly think that this is one of my favorite playthroughs I've ever done. It was so funny. Like, it made the game really, really freaking hard, especially because grounded mode just is really hard. It's King Neptune's bald head level of bright. You're not wrong. And it stayed, like, with that area was a thing. So, like, any entity that went through that specific area would, like, become all glowy and stuff. It was crazy. Like, you can see as I run through here, all the green that comes on here. So... Part 2 only just came out today on PC, so I don't know if there's anything like this in Part 2 yet, and like, this was like the final level of the game. So I don't know if like there's gonna be something like this towards the end of the game with Part 2 here. We'll see. And I assume that like nobody's really played enough to get to that point yet, since it only just came out. So we'll see. What I was just saying, though, is because I had watched season 1 with my family as, like, a thing that was filmed here in Alberta, and my family and I were curious to see, like, where the story went and why it was so controversial. I don't play that many games on my own time anymore, but I actually did play this on my own time with my family. Like, just casually, I played on normal mode. Man, freaking walk in the park compared to grounded mode. Like, I still died sometimes, but, like, man, when I was used to playing on grounded, it was so much easier. But I will disclose then that I am familiar with the story, and like the levels are going to be a little bit familiar. I'm going to be playing on like the hardest difficulty setting, as I always do, and I actually really like how grounded is handled. I feel like some video game hardest difficulties are just like, yeah, let's just make you like super flimsy, let's make the enemies super tough. I really like the unique things that grounded does. I genuinely enjoyed playing this game on grounded, so I'm looking forward to playing this on grounded. But and it's been a hot second since I played this, so I might have some rough ideas of like strats that I can do, so I have a little bit more of an advantage than I did with part 1 going in like completely blind level wise. But yeah, it was a little bit wacky. Anyway, so we'll see if we get something like this, if this game decides to bless us with a rave room of that kind of proportion, or like a green room or something like that. We shall see here. So, you know, this will be an interesting experience here. Yeah, it should be this monitor, full screen, aspect ratio auto. Yeah, 1080p, that's as much as I can stream at anyway. Cinematic pillar boxes. I have no idea what that even means. Sure, this is fine for now. Preset high. Yeah, I should be able to run things at high with my setup, is what I should be able to do. So I just hit OK. And then I guess I can click off show launcher, and then I don't have to worry about seeing that again. Just in case things start crashing and I have to tinker like right in that. Let's do it. Yeah, I guess Sony really wants you to buy a PlayStation. And like I have it on PlayStation. I could just get a better experience. But broken PC ports are funnier. And then I have like something to make fun of along the way, more so. Like, I had, because that's a funny thing to look back on is the rave room,
Screen reader.
Um, yeah, that sounds good. Help us build the best PlayStation experience. When you play this game, Sony Interactive Entertainment collects data that is necessary to operate the game. If you agree, Sony Interactive Entertainment will also collect data about your interaction with the game and errors that occur, as they will be used as explain our privacy policy. I don't know if this is gonna make it perform any worse. Like, probably not too much. It probably won't do too much. Do limit it? I mean, it would be best for like the player base in general to have this game work, because literally all the negative reviews so far seem like they're all about the performance and this game not functioning. So we'll see how far in I need to get for like my first crash. If I recall with part 1, I think the game crashed several times on my first stream. It seemed to crash less as my playthrough was going on, but then we started getting issues like the rave room. Here are some common features you may want to adjust before playing. Comprehensive list. I like having subtitles on generally. Story and combat dialogue. I mean, that might also make it a little bit easier to tell when people are around me. Like, especially on grounded mode, that might give me a little bit of an advantage. Because the general idea of grounded mode is you don't have UI. Like, of course you'll have UI if, like, you open your menu or something like that. Or you, like, stop, put down your bag, and are, like, tinkering around with your weapons and stuff. But generally, you don't have UI. So, if you're going to, like, fire a gun, you better hope that that's loaded, because the game puts the task on you of keeping track of whether or not there's ammo in it. And I remember there being moments in part 1 where I go to like shoot some dude and then the gun just goes click, it's not loaded. I'm like, oh no, and then the guy kills me, and it feels very deserved, because I didn't reload it. That's on me. And with grounded mode, you also have what's called listen mode disabled. I never experienced what listen mode was with part 1 because I only ever played in grounded. Playing part 2 casually, I now know what listen mode is. You hold a button, you start going slower, and you see the figures of people through walls. It's like using Assassin's Creed Eagle Vision. It just tells you where all the people are in like your immediate vicinity, and you can make plans based off of that. Grounded mode, you don't have that. So I remember playing the game just with like a lot of volume, and I'll have a lot of volume here, because I have to listen for dudes and like where they are and stuff like that. So I'm thinking if I have like combat dialogue on, it might make it a little bit easier. I don't know. Anyways, in other news, I've lost all faith in Nintendo higher ups. Yeah, I have, but as well, but like maybe some different ways. A lot of people are criticizing Nintendo for the increase in price right now, even though like tariffs are going into place that is like severely increasing the cost of physical goods, and I think that's the bigger thing to blame in the US. We have to wait until like we see the price points of other regions when that gets revealed to see if it's just the US that's more expensive or just the Western world in general. Because the price for Nintendo Switch 2 games in Japan, if you translate yen to USD, is $60.58 USD. So the price is staying the same in Japan, but the US is getting a price hike as Trump is putting in tariffs. So I see a lot of people getting upsetty spaghetti with Nintendo about the prices, but I don't think that's as much on them as it is like their current political administration. But I am definitely despising like the continued direction that they're taking, like their subscription services and classic games and all that. Um, the fact that like Switch UI is continuing with like, or the Switch OS is continuing with Switch 2, which is just like the most god awful, like unusable thing ever. They're making like paid expansions for like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on Switch. Like, hey, you want to actually use the full capabilities of your hardware that you paid like $450 USD to get? Too bad you gotta pay to actually be able to use it to its full capabilities and run Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom better. Either a one-time fee of the expansion, or like go with the subscription model. And imagine you're playing like Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS and your subscription runs out and it's like back to 30 FPS, peasant. Like stuff like that is why I'm kind of despising Nintendo. But a lot of people I feel like are despising them right now for the wrong reasons. I'm good with small. Medium feels big to me. I think small I'm liking here. But yeah, the not actual game cards is untrue. That is a part of misinfo that's going around. A lot of people looked at that page and thought like, oh, Nintendo Switch 2 games aren't even on the game card. Read the first sentence of the page and you find that that's not true. It just says that like these are different from regular game cards. AKA game key cards are not regular game cards. You can, and like the bottom sentence where it's like, here's how you can tell like which ones are game key cards, and it shows like the detail. AKA, these are not going to be on all Switch game cases. Here's how you can tell them apart visually. Like, but people have blown it out of proportion and said that like Switch games aren't actually on the game cards when that's not true. Like when Fallout 76 was released, for example, it was just a game key disc. There was no information on the disc. You essentially inserted the disc and you got to download Fallout 76. Is that because Microsoft and Sony were so unbelievably greedy? No, that's Bethesda. You have to take it on a case-by-case basis and actually blame the companies at hand for being greedy, not the company that is giving them a platform to be greedy. Like if Valve, like if a Steam game, for example, costs $200, I'm going to blame the greed of those that made that game and put it up there. I'm not going to blame Valve. Like that doesn't make sense. Um, so yeah, that is very much misinformation that's going around. And I don't understand how that's misinformation going around because it literally says on the page in question. But anyway. Yeah, I like having names, name colors. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I kind of like that actually. Direction. I don't want direct. Well, ooh, that might be kind of cheaty Pete with like with grounded mode. Ooh. Hmm. I might consider enabling that sometime later, is what I might do. But, I don't know. We'll see here. Prefer game key cards over opening a box and getting a piece of paper with a download code or whatever it's been for a bit. I mean, some games will do that. But yeah, the thing actually being on the cartridge is definitely the best thing. How do I go forward? Where's the advance button? And yeah, you would be able to still play them offline. Like even in the case of a game key card, it downloads to your console. Like you have it on there. You don't need to be online to be able to play it. Just online initially to download it. But I don't think there's going to be many like companies that actually do that. I can see Konami doing it, considering most of the data of the Metal Gear Master Collection was not on the cartridge. Only the 2D Metal Gear games were on there. You had to manually download all the Metal Gear Solid games. I could see Pokemon doing it, considering there was essential content cut out of BDSP and put behind the day one patch, like literally all of post game. I could see Ubisoft doing it, considering the Assassin's Creed Rebel Collection only had Assassin's Creed 4 on the cartridge. You had to download Assassin's Creed Rogue. So there have already been people trying to do this on the Switch 1. So there are particular IPs slash companies that I can see doing it, but I have a hard time seeing Nintendo doing it as a whole and destroying their brand reputation more than they already have. How do I go forward? Do I not go forward? Do I go like back? Is that what? Oh, I go back. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Audio. Yeah, that's fine. Headphones, 3D spatial sound. Dynamic range, mono audio, yeah. Okay, so back, accessibility. It's gonna be a while before we actually play the game. I've already been shooting for about half an hour. Vision accessibility preset, yeah. So a bunch of accessibility stuff. I think I'm fine without here. Display, I should be good. Do I want to make a frame rate cap like this? I can only stream at 60 FPS anyway. So I don't think there's any point in doing that. How do I do like micro adjustments? Can I not do micro adjustments? Show graphics options, toggle descriptions, change arrow keys? Oh, that's how I do micro adjustments. Okay. Oh my god, why is it jumping? I'm not touching it. So not even the menuing works properly. I was trying to see if I could click off like right at that moment. Oh, it's not jumping anymore. It's not jumping anymore. Somehow me doing that, it is jumping again. Somehow that hand gesture switched my camera from static mode to tracking mode. I don't know why it did that. Hey, oh my god. Oh my god. It does not work by scrolling anyway. I gotta use arrow keys. Alright, well, the menus don't work properly. Good to know. Anti-lag, not support on my current hardware. Oh. Frame generation generates additional frames using the data of the latest frames. Oh, interesting. I haven't tried out this kind of stuff in games before. I don't do a massive ton of PC gaming, so I'm not as familiar with some of this stuff. Cinematic pillar boxes on ultra wide displays, disabling pillar boxes when playing on ultra wide resolution. I'm not playing on ultra wide. I don't know what a pillar box is. Oh god. Connect to PlayStation TM network. There isn't even like a space between these. Thank you for being part of the community on the PlayStation TM network. Unless this is supposed to be like one word, but they really wanted to put the trademark after PlayStation, so it just looks like this here. Um, Nintendo really just loves doing amazing things and immediately killing that goodwill. Yeah, you're not wrong. You've unlocked the You've unlocked the Heretic Prophet jacket for Ellie and 50 points to activate bonus features and unlock extras? This did not come up when I played the PS5 version before. I'm gonna turn off the tracking here and move. Do I want to move the camera up a smidge? I just like having my hand when I'm like playing PC games like this cropped off, so you don't see like my hand flipping back and forth, aiming and stuff like that. I don't know if anyone even cares about that, but Donkey Kong looks amazing. Honestly, not even a Donkey Kong fan. Yeah, I think it looked really good as well. To get trophies and access to the PlayStation overlay, there's a PlayStation overlay. We require you to provide your credentials again once on the system. You want to do this now? Sure. Yeah, it did just generally look like a great game. Oh god. I'm getting like PTSD seeing that like please wait there, because I know how much I had to please wait when I played part 1. Yeah, sure, go ahead there. Watch someone else, like if I was a big content creator, someone else would totally sign in like right now with the chance sign into their PlayStation account. Why is the QR code like not working here? Good thing I'm not a big content creator, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's see here. Donkey Kong looked good, but that not Discord feature was trash. Disagree. Switch 1, not Discord, was trash. But they actually are now offering a service that you can't get through Discord. This is something that I actually talked about in my thingamabob that is probably going to go up like tomorrow or something. I'm still using display capture here. Let's see here, because it's way too late today. Correct. It's this freaking 8-hour video from the other day with a lot of stuff. I actually talked extensively here about how with like the original Switch, there was no reason not to just use Discord, because it was like a Nintendo app kind of thing. So it's like, well, if you have to use a separate app anyway, why not just use Discord? It doesn't make any sense. I have to briefly stop talking so it does like the Face ID. Email verification, trying to sign to this device from a new browser. Enter the code you just received. I'm not seeming to get an email here. Oh, here we go. 785889. Bam, verify. But with the ability to now like share your screen, be able to see what the other people are doing, and just having that in front of you, not on like a third-party app that you're looking between, it is now offering a service that you can't really get from other services. Like, I'm in a position where I could share my screen of gameplay on my Switch through Discord because I'm a content creator. I have a capture card. I have a several $100 capture card sitting on my desk that allows me to capture my game and like stream it to other platforms. That is so loud. Oh my god. But most people don't have that. So if you want to like share your gameplay with someone else, you would either have to be like taking like little 30-second video captures and just sending them clips or a bunch of screenshots, or like actually record at your screen and do that through Discord. Because most people are not going to be having a capture card. Yeah, Nixxes is new to this version here. But if you can just do that directly through the Switch, that is now a service that you do not have access to on other platforms like Discord without having like the necessary hardware. Yeah, and that's fair too. I was reading through the developer interviews, and from what I read on the developer interviews and from just like the smidges that we saw on like the direct itself, the FPS does look pretty shit on like the other ones, but it sounds like the priority was on making sure that your game still runs stable. Like, we shouldn't be taking too many resources away from like being able to run your own game, and it makes sense that that should be the higher priority. So I thought that Switch 1 service of just like, yeah, open the app and chat is crap, because there's literally no reason to not use anything else. But now a service is being offered that you can't get anywhere else without having like the hardware, like someone like I would. Because most people are not gonna just have like a capture card lying around if they're not like a content creator. So I do think that it is worth it now, is what I would say. I'm going to switch from display capture to game capture, because that should give us like a better display here. It should have the game run smoother. That's what I've usually, it's frozen already. That did not take long. Right as I was saying that, like, if you do game capture, it works better. Just making sure my stream didn't freeze. Is it? Oh, because I clicked off the game. Oh. Wait, I'm clicking off the game and it isn't freezing. Wait, is it just like so long after being clicked? It's after a few seconds of being clicked off the game. So you can click off it and it does. That's different. That's different than literally any other PC game that I played before. Every other PC game I've ever played either doesn't freeze or it freezes immediately when you click off the game. This is different. What the hell is the PlayStation overlay? Oh, well, it shows like your friends, which it's probably a good thing that I'm using game capture, not display capture, because that just spells out Guzma's legal name. Yeah, I don't care about the thing. Wait, can I check trophies and it shows me my trophies in this game? Because I've played it before. Look, I have trophies in the game. Because I would have just casually played through it before. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, because I own it on the thing. Interesting. Full game add-ons. Grounded mode was an add-on? Part 1? Wait, part 1 is an add-on? What? All the part 1 challenges and no return? Oh, maybe it's just stuff with like the no return mode, which I think is the roguelike mode, where like there's characters and stuff from part 1 and stuff. Don't know if I'm actually buying a Switch 2 anymore. The pricing of games is the main reason, especially if I can just buy Legends ZA and play through it on emulator legally. On Switch, I mean. That's fair enough. It will be very interesting to see what the price points are with like the rest of the world. Because like, again, it's the same in Japan. Like, that hasn't changed, but massive price hike in the US. I don't know what the prices are like in Canada yet. Yeah, so I don't have that. This, I assume, means I have it. Look, I completed the story. It's rare? What else have I done? I found all the training manuals, apparently. I guess I was really good at searching around when I was literally just playing casually. I found all weapons because, like, you know, that's probably not too hard. Find 12 workbenches, craft every item, upgrade a weapon, learn a player upgrade, find 5 trading cards, find 5 coins, hidden trophy, win the marksmanship competition, earn the high score in the archery game. All right, there's the trophies I have. Look at that. I'm going into this as like a super professional Last of Us Part 2 video player. All right, well, this has already taken half an hour. I should probably start actually playing the freaking video game. I always play games around here on the hardest difficulty mode, and with Last of Us Part 1 being my first time ever playing it, I was like, ooh, does that sound like it's too much? The most challenging and realistic experience. Listen mode, HUD, and other gameplay elements are altered in this game mode. Oh, it doesn't say the HUD is hidden. In Part 1, I'm pretty sure it explicitly said that the HUD was hidden. Like, you don't have UI. Apart from, again, like, menuing. And I was like, oh god, is this gonna be like way too much? I remember Eagle was in my stream at the time. He was like, don't do it on your first playthrough. Like, it is ungodly hard. It was hard, but like the checkpoints were like pretty generous. And I actually genuinely liked the unique challenge. Because I hate hardest difficulties that are just like, yep, enemies hit like a truck are just damage sponges. You just get like one shot. And like just that kind of artificial difficulty. But hard difficulty modes that actually change how you have to play the game, where it's like, you don't have UI. How much ammo is in your gun? Keep track of it yourself. Like, that gives me more stuff that I have to pay attention to. Or not being able to see dudes through walls. I need to actually be paying attention and listen. It keeps me a lot more engaged, because it's like, I have to be keeping track of all these variables and being on top of things. And I actually genuinely really liked grounded mode in part 1 when I wasn't when it was my very first time playing the game. The difficulty is not recommended for your first playthrough. Yeah. Like, that's why I was shying away the first time with part 1, because I was like, oh, am I asking too much of myself? Like, should I make an exception to my whole hardest playthrough thing? And then I actually loved grounded mode. I actually really, really liked it. But technically, I'm not going to be playing on the hardest difficulty because I'm not doing permadeath, because I'm going to be dying a lot. I already know. Options enabled that we recommend disabling for grounded. Wait, what? We like to reset these options to their grounded default values? Hold on, what? What do you mean? Enables HUD markers that appear when you shoot and hit an enemy. The HUD marker will be red on kill shot. The red marker will always be white. Yeah, I'd like default. That's what it was with part 1, even with grounded, I'm pretty sure. Tutorial messages. I'm going to have them on just because I need to know what mouse and keyboard controls are. I know how to play this game with, like, DualSense controller. And if I start getting tired of mouse and keyboard inputs, I am plugging this into my PC, and I am just going to play the way that I already know how to play this game. But everybody keeps saying in the reviews that, like, mouse and keyboard controls are broken, so I want to experience it for a little while, and I have no idea what the hell the mouse and keyboard controls are, so I kind of want the tutorial messages. Only critical tutorials will be enabled. This'll tell me at least all my buttons, right? And of course, permadeath off. Okay. Yeah, so is it the hit markers thing or Bob that usually isn't there? What is the grounded default values? If I click that, selected grounded, listen mode, HUD, and other gameplay elements will be altered in that. Cannot be changed after starting. That didn't change anything. What the hell do you mean? If I select yes there, it doesn't actually change it. So I don't know what the grounded things are. I don't think. Also, am I getting false memories? Was there a red on a kill shot and white with a, or am I thinking of like my casual playthrough that I did a part 2 before? Hold on. Hold on. Am I destroying the grounded experience here? Let's see here. When I was playing the thing here, good thing I have this video up. When I killed a guy, let's see here. Look, I'm playing on grounded and it's red on kill shot. Like there's that marker that signifies that yes, I got him. You see like the little red X there. So that is fair game. I'm still saying this counts as grounded, even if the game is like, oh, that doesn't count as grounded. Like, why? Because there's hit markers that were already on and grounded in the last game. Is grounded in part 2 count as not having hit markers? And is that really gonna make it much easier? It's just like a visually satisfying thing. I guess it'll just mean that I know when someone's dead instead of going like, oh god, I thought I killed him. Right? Can I change this at any time? Classic. Hit marker will always be white. Is that the default grounded thing? Like, what is it? I wish it told reset the default settings. Well, default is default here. The hit marker will be red on a kill shot, otherwise it's right. So I don't know why it's telling me like you've enabled something that isn't normally grounded when I just set it to the default and this is default. But I want some minimal tutorials because I want to know how the hell to play with mouse and keyboard. Difficulty that isn't SMT Nocturne that stops you from escaping battles, changing the damage you do take doesn't 3x the prices in shops? Oh, what? What? Memories? Maybe tutorial? Wait, what? Hold on, I don't know what this is in response to anymore. No, I don't even know what you're talking about. I wish you would tell me what you were talking about, but I genuinely don't know. Like, I don't know what you're referring to here, game. So, this is something that I found out with a Digital Foundry video, is, oh, false memories. Yeah, I guess so here. Compiling shaders. The part, oh my god, is my camera freeze? Oh. 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 I'm still using display capture, it looks like. Oh, if I use game capture, it fixes it? Because I forgot I briefly had display capture. Oh my god, everything is lagging. I did not press the button to switch layouts. Oh, it is lagging. I'm looking over OBS and I look frozen. Oh, crap. My stream is freezing. I'm hitting 0 kilobytes a second regularly. I don't know how... What the heck? Okay, are like we back properly? Can I actually talk? Can I pause? Can I pause? Is it not escape? Is it not escape? Can I not pause? I can't pause the game. Do my buttons work again? My buttons work again. I'll let cutscenes play. I'll talk about this in a second. And I'll also look at what the audio level looks like, because I just kind of turned it down a whole bunch in general after it came in and it was really loud. Now it looks really quiet. Oh, if I Alt-Tab, it pauses it. Okay. Do I still have the volume mixer? That looks kind of quiet. I'm turning it up. Yeah, now things seem okay. So, with part 1 on PC, I would boot up the game for the first time and it would say, like, compiling shaders at the bottom right. And it was taking forever. And I just wanted to start playing the game. And the game was like, we don't recommend starting until shaders are done compiling. And I was like, whatever. How bad can it be? And then I started playing. And then every few minutes, it would interrupt me with, please wait, in the middle of the screen. Without a loading bar or anything. Just, please wait. And that was it. And it was frozen until the game was ready to keep on going. So I would just sit there waiting. No idea how long I had to be waiting. And, like, I was just at the whims of when it was done, like, compiling the shaders for the next section. And I guess I wasn't the only player that took issue with that, because it seems like that is a change that they did make for part 2. Rather than like, one of the things that I had said was that I wish that shaders could be compiled as you played, as you need them, instead of all this stuff in the beginning when it's gonna break the game. And apparently they did do that with this game. As I was mentioning earlier, the Digital Foundry video let me know that there's like particular load zones where it starts compiling shaders for the next area. So I have Task Manager up there. I'm gonna see when my CPU starts getting maxed out, because then I'm gonna know that like I went past a load zone where it's going to like start compiling shaders for the next session, which lets me get right into it. But it does do a little bit of shader compiling at the beginning, I found out from that video. And that shader compiling completely tanked my stream. Like, it took all the resources. Like, I guess that makes it load faster, but my stream went from 6,000 kilobytes a second to 0 kilobytes a second. Literally no data was going through. I don't know how much of my speaking got cut off there, how much was frozen, how much was going, if that was just like a slideshow or what exactly happened there. But if I go through load zones that compile shaders and it just deletes my stream, I am going to be very upset. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that about the shaders.
The fireflies and walk away. You go halfway across the country with someone. She needed her immunity to mean something.
What is with the weird blur on the outsides of her hair?
Maybe I was starting to buy into that old cure business. Maybe I just wanted to do right by her. And then we made it. We found the firefly. Because of her, they were actually going to make a cure. The only catch, it would kill her. Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing? I won't let you take her. This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Jesus Christ, Joe. What do you do?
I saved her. Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Cover the exit. Don't let him get away.
God damn. That's that's a lot. What does Ellie know?
I told her they just ran some tests. I told her her immunity meant nothing.
And she believed you?
I didn't say otherwise.
We should head back.
Well, this is looking pretty visually nice so far. There's a little bit of weird blur around, like, the horse's hair there. Audio looks like it should be okay. Game directors Anthony Newman and Kurt. I am barely moving my mouse. Like, here, I could just manually turn the camera a little bit. Want to see how much I'm moving my mouse? Just forgive all the papers on my desk over here. This is how much I'm moving my mouse for a full 360. Whoa, okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and fix my camera. Sure, turn on the tracking for now, I guess. That is, controls? Is there sensitivity? Oh, here we go. Keyboard and mouse, camera go Neom, it really do be. Open cross selection mode to use. Cross open mode. Yeah, okay, so the sensitivity in the different directions here. Is it gonna, like, jump if I hold it again? No. Here, let's have them for now. Give me more sensitivity. Or less sensitivity, you know what I mean. Here. And then, I don't know. I don't know what the scope is like yet, but let's go ahead and adjust that, because I have a feeling it's gonna be a little bit drastic. That's better. It's still, okay. It still could be improved. Let's see here. That is still... What if I set to, like, 10? Or something. Because those default settings, my god. That is unbearable. Here, everything is a 10 now. Yeah. I don't need to worry about that. Wait a second. Camera sensitivity. That was camera sensitivity. Wait, does this mean, like, controller camera sensitivity? What does that mean? This one says camera sensitivity. This one says mouse camera sensitivity. Implying this is normal camera sensitivity, but it should just then say controller camera sensitivity. Because, like, what if you're complaining about, like, your mouse sensitivity? You scroll on past it without realizing it. You find camera sensitivity here, and then you adjust this, and you see that it does nothing. Oh, here it says controller only. But just say controller camera sensitivity with your header. Ooh, that feels better. Ooh. Yeah, that's a lot better. I assume this is aiming by holding right click. Once I get, like, an actual weapon, and if that's still the same, I'm probably gonna adjust that to be a little bit lower as well. But this feels a lot better now. That default setting. Holy crap. Also, since I've said that I've played this game before, and the fact that everyone familiar with the story seems to either love it or hate it, if there's anyone tuning into this that is familiar with the story, they might be wondering, like, what I think about it, since I've said that I've played it before. Like, I won't say any spoilers for the story here, but this definitely does not look as good as, like, the PS5 version, that I'm pretty sure. I remember this looking better when I was playing the PS5 version, though I was also playing on a TV and not a monitor, so maybe that's a difference too. Oh, curiosity here. Anyway, in terms of what I think about it, I do think that there are some really good things about the story, and also some really bad things about the story. I think my least favorite part of the story is just the way it handles its formatting and the way in which it tells, like, order of events. The way in which it tells order of events, I think, is really, really bad and, like, really destroys, like, the tension and the buildup of the story, is what I feel like. But once we get to, like, the parts in question, I can talk about them more in depth. That's generally what I feel. And, like, some of the parts just are, like, what the heck? Why? Display or graphics? I guess graphics then, right? High. Everything is high. I'm pretty sure this looked better on PS5. I could find out literally right now. We're, like, right at the beginning of the game. And I've already talked about, like, differences and, like, dragged this on long enough anyway, so... What's a little bit longer? Hold on, give me a hot second. Because I am genuinely curious. What is plugged in right now? My Switch or the PS5 should be plugged in right now? Is what should be the case. And I think I have Ghost of Tsushima in the console right now. And I need to eject that. Here, let me, do this. Give me a second. Let's take out Ghost of Tsushima. I'm putting in Last of Us Part 2. This is what I'm gonna do here. Wah. Wah. Boobity bop. I thought I was already on like the profile screen before when I hit A, and that was like a flash coming up. Oh well. Ghost of Tsushima's in here now. Hold on. Uno momento. Not as bad as part 1, but compiling shaders in the beginning turned my bitrate of the stream to 0. Or my output, my kilobytes per second to 0. The menus are bugging out, and I'm running this on high, and it's not looking great. So I'm booting up the oh, what? An update? Oh, is it because there was new content added with like the PC version with the roguelike mode, and they added it to like the PS5 version? And I don't need that right now. But like I might be getting false memories here, but I'm pretty sure this looks visibly worse than the PS5 version. So I'm just booting up the PS5 version really quickly just to see here. So it's better than part 1 so far, but it's not great. Also, one of the yeah, it's a friggin' Marvel movie, I know. With the PC version, I was looking through some of the reviews, like some of the negative reviews, just out of curiosity if people were complaining about like the story, as people often do with Last of Us Part 2. All of these are about performance. People's games are crashing, and one of the common complaints that I see is with mouse controls. So I'm trying to learn to play this with mouse and keyboard, because people are saying that it feels like there's like a weird dead zone, or there's like a grid or something. Like you can't quite do the micro adjustments when you're aiming. You try to do a micro adjustment and it like jumps a little bit. So I'm trying to learn this game with mouse and keyboard controls, because I want to see it firsthand is what I want to do here. Here, really quickly. Story, new game. Yeah. I don't care. Sure. Yeah. No woke mind virus, believer idiots, but at what cost? What with the negative reviews and stuff? All right, and you don't have to worry about like compiling any shaders on like PS5 here. It's just like, yeah, you just hop right into it. You could just kind of start playing. Can I skip though? Can I not skip? Oh, dang it. I'm still not familiar enough with PlayStation buttons. I'm still relatively new to this console. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Skip cinematic. Because we should be, like, basically right at this point anyway. Let's just... Here, let me switch my input over. But this is what it looks like on PS5. Still looking at OBS. There, now I can look forward. Skip cinematic. Yes, skip cinematic. I can come right up to here really quickly. There doesn't seem to be, like, the weird blur around, like, the horse's hair like we just saw on PC. How do you, run in this again here? One of these sticks? I don't know. A lot of people got so mad about how Abby looked and screamed woke. Women can look like that if they train. Yep. They absolutely can. I have other complaints about the story, but we'll get into that when we get into that. Hold on. Let's just go see Jackson, I think is the name of it. And let's just have a little bit of a look-see back and forth. Let's just have a little bit of a look here. But yeah, I mean, playing it on PS5, it does look great. It sounds like with like a really high-end CPU, you can make it look better. And L1 to gallop. Oh, that's what it is. And it does sound very much like shadows look a lot better on the PC version when they render. Apparently, the render distance of shadows is like really shit in the PC version. Does this look a little bit better here? Here, let's switch my input back over to like where PC is and stuff. Oh yeah, I have my complaint. It's presented out of order. Yeah, I was just mentioning that there. Let's see here. So game capture. How do I... Oh, exit this. Does it seem like there's more blur on Jackson? If I alt-tab, it's going to do that. This is PS5. Am I losing my mind? This is PS5. This is PC. On a 3070 is what my graphics card is. Is there that little bit of blur around Joel's hair? I know I was getting out of the garage, there was a little bit of blur around like the horse's mane. I don't really see it anymore. Maybe I'm just going crazy? I don't know. PS5 version? I mean, they're pretty similar. Maybe I'm actually just going crazy here. That's what might just be going on. I don't know. Yeah, and I mean with Twitch viewing as well, with it being like 1080p. But I think I might just be getting false memories. What it could also be is just like the fact that I, you know, was playing on a TV, so I'm used to seeing like a TV from afar rather than like a monitor right in front of me. So, like, I'm noticing little bits of like blur and things in the distance that I wouldn't by like sitting on a couch from across a room. Is all it could be. Maybe that's all that's going on here. Maybe. But yeah, I might still adjust my sensitivity a little bit more later. We'll see. So, can I see, like, this kind of notched aiming? I'm not seeing it right now. Like, maybe it'll be a thing when I have, like, a weapon. But, like, the grid thing that some people were talking about where you can't do micro adjustments. I'm not really noticing it right now. It looks like I can do pretty good micro adjustments. I don't know. But there was, like, multiple people that were complaining that you can't do micro adjustments with a mouse and that mouse controls are broken, so I do want to play and find out what exactly people are talking about. What the heck? I do want to know what is going on here with this. I also wonder if what is that, like GeForce Game Viewer thingamabob? Whatever the heck that software is that comes with these graphics cards. If I could get like an FPS counter around here somewhere, because I would be curious to see what my FPS is at different points. I would definitely be quite curious about that. Let me in. Let me in. All right, thank you. Because I mean, so apparently from the Digital Foundry video, I saw that there was like some issues with like some textures flashing, like some blood splatters on the ground. They'll start flashing like crazy. So we'll see if we end up running into that firsthand. We shall see here.
About what we were talking about earlier. I can't say I'd have done different. I'll take it to the grave if I have to.
I'll see you later, Tom.
President of Naughty Dog, Evan Wells. Yeah, I mean, visually, this is looking pretty good. So, yeah, this is with high specs. I could always try setting it to, like, medium or low just for, like, the sake of comparison out of curiosity.
Hello? Ellie?
Jesus. Almost gave me a heart attack.
I tried knocking, but
Hey,
hey,
what's up, Joel?
just checking in. Folks are, talking about how impressed they are with you and how well you're helping out.
It's good.
Yeah. Tommy and I went out riding the other day, and he told me a joke, and I thought about you. It's oh shoot, now I forgot it. Something about a clock. How do you?
Joel, it's pretty late and I gotta get up in a few hours.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna get out of your hair. Just I want to show you something. Just give me 1 second.
What's this?
Some folks call this thing here a guitar.
Funny.
You want to hear something?
Okay.
Okay. Promise me that you won't laugh.
I won't laugh.
Wait, I control this here, don't I? Memory serves.
I'm trusting you.
Wait, how do I do this with keyboard? Left click to pick or use space to strum. All right, promise me you won't laugh. Man, this sounds like something that some random hillbilly would play after you get mauled to death by monsters after you didn't heed his advice to not go wandering in them woods. What this sounds like. Okay, I'm not advancing it by doing this, so I should probably actually, like... So, that's strum. That's pick. What's the difference between pick and strum? Like... Spacebar and M1 seem to do the same thing. Joel furiously begins a song of shit posting. Oh, dang it. This is so hard with a mouse. Like, it's clearly meant to be done with, like, a stick on a controller. But, like, I swear, I try to move to, like, bottom right or something, and then it moves to, like, not the exact direction that I think it is. Or, like, I run out of mouse pad space. It'd be so much easier for me to pick up, like, my actual guitar, like, right there. And just do that than this. This is so much harder. Like, have my keyboard here with a bunch of stuff on the side. I could pick up my actual guitar that's literally right there. And it would be way easier than this. Yeah, that is true. That wouldn't have been, like, the original designed idea. But, God, I can't play this for the life of me. But if I just don't rush... Watch me never be able to get past this part of the game. This is the real challenge. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm so good at video games.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this man of me. All my stolen missing parts I've no need for anymore. 'Cause I believe, and I believe 'cause I can see our future days, days of you and me. There you go.
Well, that didn't suck.
I'll take what I can get. She's yours.
No. No. I don't know the first thing
I
about
promised
this.
that I'd teach you how to play.
You did.
So what do you say, tomorrow night? First lesson?
Deal.
Okay.
Do you remember the joke?
What is the downside to eating a clock? It's time consuming.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Good night, kiddo.
The Last of Us Part 2. It doesn't say remastered there, unless it comes in like a dramatic fashion. No, okay, it just says that. Okay.
Shit. Fuck. Hey,
Morning.
sorry, I totally overslept. Just give me a minute and I'll get dressed.
I heard you had quite a night after I left.
My
She kissed
CPU
me.
was just maxed
I
out,
just
by the
didn't
way,
even
which
do
tells
that.
me it was probably building shaders.
Shouldn't mean anything by it.
I was talking about your fight with Seth. Wait, you kissed Dina?
Oh. I thought this.
We're broken up 1 week and you make a move on my girl?
No. She was probably just trying to make you jealous. I would never. Fuck, this is awkward.
I'm messing with you, man. I don't care. Get dressed.
You're the worst.
It's kind of fucked up you did that. Get your stuff together, we're already late.
I actually quite like him. But, so, alright, let's start doing stuff. A bunny.
So tired.
I don't remember what I do here, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, I can interact with E is the interact button with mouse and keyboard controls. It seems like. Wow. Whoa, I almost dropped the game right in the trash can by touching it with my elbow there. Almost. Not quite. Wow. Maybe I'll turn off the tracking on this camera. Potentially. Don't think there's anything else that I can snag here or anything. Doesn't seem like. Oh.
Hey, is Joel?
Oh,
up?
that's important.
We got reports of infected out north. We had sent him and Tommy out early to scout.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I do really like how games like this transition like completely cleanly between
Shut
gameplay and cutscene.
Just about to get up.
That's
I
always
was.
cool.
You got everything?
Yes.
Alright, I want to see, like, shadows in this. Because looking at the Digital Foundry video, it seems like, I guess there's maybe not enough light for the people shadows yet.
Heads up.
But, like, the shadows were a lot more defined in the PC version than the PlayStation versions. But the render distance on them was really bad. So it's like, if there was a tree over there and it was in front of a building, then in, like, the PlayStation version, you would see, like, a blurry shadow on the building. Whereas in the PC version, it seemed from that video like you had to get close, and then you would see, like, a high definition, like, clearly defined shadow on the building. But you go back, and then, like, there's no shadow. Is what it looked like. So, I'm gonna be looking out for shadow render distance like it's a friggin' Game Freak game. Once we get into, like, a lighter portion of the game. Definitely be keeping an eye out for that.
Be safe out there.
Yeah, these ones up close are looking pretty nice. With the lights and stuff here.
Maria
See firsthand their whole setup.
Where
Oh,
is
look
she?
at them tomatoes and stuff.
Diner.
Hopefully I'll have lots of tomatoes like that soon enough myself.
No clue.
Just tell her you
Here's
never
hoping.
saw me.
Nope.
I have a whole bunch of tomato plants.
Where's your fucking loyalty?
Excuse me?
They're little sprouts right now. Open up.
Hey, so
Yeah, the clean transitions is
we're
cool.
okay, right?
You and me? Yeah, of course.
Footprints in the snow?
Dina and I are
Sorta.
I know. It's just, I don't want you to think.
Yeah, okay.
Ellie. We're cool. Promise.
Okay, well, things are looking pretty good here so far. Oh, my CPU's maxed out again. At least it's not killing my stream. I got really worried when it, like, killed my stream when it compiled shaders the first time. So as long as it compiling shaders in gameplay doesn't kill my stream, then we're good.
Hey,
Whoa! Oh my god.
yeah, get a good scratch.
Little slide over there. And like, thank goodness they learned some lessons from part 1 of, hey, maybe we shouldn't have all this shader compiling stuff where it freezes the game and says, please wait, and keeps the player there for an indeterminate amount of time until it lets them play again for like a few minutes, and then please wait, and all that. So, they've clearly learned some lessons here. Just waiting for the thing that happens at the beginning of game that pissed everyone off to happen. Yeah, and then we can start talking about that.
No.
And how it's probably not really the best time in the story for that to happen. Like, I don't mind the event in question. Like, if they're gonna do it for interesting storytelling reasons. But, you know, it's basically right at the beginning of the game.
There you are. Come here.
There's a lot of things that this game does that, on their own, are not necessarily bad storytelling things at all. They are just done in, like, a poor order, a poor means. And I'll talk about that as we go through this game.
Seth.
It'll be interesting to see how this show handles it. It's currently the 3rd of April. Apparently, the first episode of Season 2 comes out on the 13th. And it was mostly filmed in BC. Season 1 was mostly filmed here in Alberta, but Season 2 was mostly filmed in BC, I heard.
I was drinking too much.
Our neighbor province.
Sure.
And that's probably why they released this at this time. Like, release it to coincide with the release of Season 2 of the HBO show. When the game is all... When the IP in general is, like, trending and stuff. People watch the show and they're like, hey, I want to play the game now.
Your steak.
Or they decide they watch episode 1 and they're like, I don't want to be involved with this anymore. Because of order of events. Yeah. But we'll see.
You be safe out there.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
What you got there?
Bigot sandwiches.
Smells good.
And then you question, like, through the whole game what that guy did. And it reveals it in, like, the last stretch. And it's not even that important. But yeah, I hope they release episodes in chronological order instead of how the game presents it. Yeah, it'll make more sense if they do chronological order. Like, I definitely don't mind you doing things out of order in a story if it helps support the narrative. Like, an example that I can use is, say, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with Jin's backstory, where you have this guy opposing you, you don't really know what his deal is, and you find out that he used to be one of the, good guys back when that was fighting against the main antagonist. So why is he, like, on his side now? What's going on there? And so you kind of put the pieces together as the story is going on. And you find out, like, what a kind of relatable character he is and, like, a genuinely good character. And it's like, oh, shit. And then when it does, like, the kind of send-off of his character in Chapter 9, it feels, like, very fitting and well-earned. So there are times that you can purposefully do things out of chronological order to better serve the story. I feel like the way that this game handled its order of events hurts the story more than anything. Because, like, again, I'm not going to talk about spoilers yet, but what I found is that I had a difficult time understanding character motivations without having the proper context that I needed to. Like, it was only, like, towards the end of the game where it's like, okay, so this character did know this thing, this event had already happened, so, like, maybe that's more of a motivation here or something? Because, I mean, when the characters that you yourself are playing as, you don't even understand the motivations of, because it's choosing to save that until later for, like, some reason. It's just very odd, you know? This game timeline is a mess. I agree. Hello, Loas or Notary. Yeah, the story's not bad. It's just presented at the wrong points in time. Yeah. I agree. Like, any one of the things that happens in this story, I don't think is necessarily bad on its own.
Where do I meet
Like, as I go through, maybe I'll see more specifics, and maybe I'll say, like, some things are bad on their own. But the way that it's told just makes it frustrating, and it kind of destroys the tension that would otherwise build up.
I'll need someone else.
That's what I feel like.
Ellie.
Still haven't met the best character, Golfy, yet? Golfy, what?
Not
I played
really.
through this game once casually with my family just to
Demons
see
done
the
it a bunch.
story, so I know the story of it.
I'll have the
I don't know who the hell Golfy is.
Well, that solves that.
Not entirely sure. Which is why I'm also kind of talking
Ellie.
over cutscenes a little bit, because
Can I
I'm
talk to you for a sec?
familiar with stuff. And I also just do that as a streamer. So if anyone's trying to pay attention to this, sorry, I'm sorry.
So- Look, I don't know what's going on with you and
Sound like I
Joel.
said sorry instead of story.
Maria,
Guy really cares about you. And I'm sure he didn't mean to.
we're fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
referring to stuff with Joel.
Okay.
Another thing that you don't find out about until like the end of the game.
Be safe.
Thanks.
And it really doesn't
Yo,
serve
Dina,
the
assignments.
purpose to like
Give me a
keep it hidden
We get your girlfriend
stuff,
at the
I
stable
don't
soon.
think. Like, it isn't like a big payoff, the information that comes out towards then. It's just like, okay, well, that happened now, I know, I guess.
Can I talk to you?
Like, I don't get it. So it will be interesting to see how this show does it. So I'll watch the show as it comes out. I'll probably talk about it a bit during this playthrough. I might not watch the episodes right as they come out. I mean, maybe I will.
Hey.
I'm willing to just wait for a bunch to come out, then I can watch a bunch at once. But if I'm in the middle of this
I just wanna
playthrough, maybe
say
I should
sorry
watch
for
them as they
running
come
off
out.
last night.
Oh, then I can talk about them.
It's okay. I totally get it. I felt bad.
Why?
Because
You know, Golfy,
started
Joel's
that thing.
bestiest friend. Oh.
I shouldn't have kissed you in front of all of those people.
No,
And,
you were drunk. It's fine.
well, still, I don't want you to think.
No, I'm not reading into it or anything. Just
You know what I love about you? How you let me finish my sentences.
all right. Well, we should probably get going.
Yeah.
Ow! What the fuck? I'm not even playing.
Cause you're a chicken? You're a chicken!
I hate this kid so much.
You want to fuck him up?
Yeah, I do.
You asked for it! You better run, you little shits!
This is actually a cool way to handle, like, a combat tutorial without it feeling like a combat tutorial. Like, just kind of like a quick thing where it's like, hey, it introduces game mechanics.
Gotcha!
Okay, so E is gonna be my reload button, question marks?
I'm gonna clock you and fight you.
Or,
like, for real.
or
Don't
something?
tell your mom. Ow!
Probably.
I know where you
And I
live now.
climb with spacebar? I can get snow from here, it looks like. Boop,
Oh, you like that?
boop, boop, boop.
Oh, suck it!
Oh, and then C is crouch. Okay.
Oh, eat snow, you
I think that's what my
little
button is in Helldivers as well, so I can probably get that through my head.
Ow! Who taught you that?
Probably. Yoink. And C, uncrouch, shift run, I presume. It shouldn't be too hard with mouse and keyboard controls. But once we start actual combat, we'll see how broken the mouse controls are, because so many people in the reviews seem to be saying that, like, mouse controls are broken and that you can't aim with it. So, like,
Come on.
I want to see that. I want to see how that works. Oh yeah, the points were down there.
Hey! How's it feel? No! Get her! Help me! You'll never get
Oh.
away with this!
A little bit of a jarring jump there. E to interact here.
Off of her, you monsters!
Well,
All right, we
Scene
actually
goes
have
on,
some work
so-
to do. Scram.
I guess I asked for that, huh?
I'm gonna alt tab off briefly to do this little thingamabob with OBS. And then I think I'm gonna turn the tracking off my camera and it can just stay right there. Because again, I like it just being like this here, not you seeing my arm going back and forth by hand doing like all the mouse stuff here.
Yep.
Whoops. What did I just do? Is that from hitting escape? Or was that a backup button? Was that a thing with a cutscene? Is there like a shuffle back button? Oh, okay. Honestly, after you finish the FromSoft Sony exclusives, I want you to start God of War. I would like to one day. I've heard good things about him.
Jesse wants us to do the creek trails. He's gonna relieve Joel and Tommy.
Oh, that's nice he assigned us together. You're gonna like this route.
Again, I do wish I had like FPS on screen here somewhere.
Morning.
Unless that's the thing that you can do in settings. HUD? Verticals. Yeah, so you can change that anytime. Damage indicators. Speedrun timer. Oh, that's cool. For those that like speedrun and stuff. System, mouse hover. Performance HUD. Oh. Oh, you can do a just like FPS counter. So you can do like that. It's not even hitting 60 in the menu. What do you mean it's not hitting 60 in the menu? I do know that that is going to be like a thing that I'm going to have to crop out of thumbnails. If I'm turning stuff into thumbnails later, I won't be able to use the full screen. But I am kind of curious, you know. I've experienced all the stories of Greek-era God of War. It makes the Norse games so much better story-wise. Okay, because I've seen the Norse games. Just on YouTube and such. And I know the very, very rough gist of the Greek ones. Yeah, I guess I'm not quite able to hit 60. Is there some way that I can hit 60? Doesn't say like how much VRAM I'm using or anything. If that's important here. Motion blur intensity. Do I want high intensity on that? Let's just leave it as is for a little while, and let's see what happens with performance and stuff. Like I mentioned before, I have no doubt that I could probably just get like a better experience if I played the PS5 version, but well, I do want to see this firsthand.
Come on.
I'm at 100% CPU again, which I assume means it's compiling shaders. As long as it doesn't tank my stream like the first time, that's fine. But that is interesting to kind of see like where it's preparing the next area.
Yeah.
But thank goodness it actually compiles shaders as you play. Oh, now I'm at 60. Unlike the mess that was part 1 with the please wait nonsense. That still pisses me off.
Open it up. Settle down, children. All right. You all know the drill. Run your routes, mark your logbooks, clear any infected you see. You run into anything you can't handle, you come back. Be smart about it. All right. Get going.
Yeah, do be looking nice. Look, it's also hitting 60 now.